We want to thank everybody for joining today's Code Ninjas conference call. My name is Marty Flanagan. I'm the Vice President of Franchising with Code Ninjas, and I host these calls each and every week and have been for about 3 years now. And the whole purpose behind these calls is to give some better understanding, some more insight, and just kind of give you a better, more, I guess, a clear picture of Code Ninjas, the direction we're heading, what's made this really such an outstanding opportunity. And this call has usually anywhere from 30 to 50 attendees. The first 15 to 20 minutes of this call are always the same, where we just I go through a brief introduction, kind of give you a little bit of a brief history of Code Ninjas, and then we go into a Q&A, a live Q&A. These calls are not recorded in terms of like pre-recorded, but they are recorded for you to be able to listen to in the future. And again, we typically have anywhere from 30 to 50 attendees from usually the U.S., Canada, and the UK. And these calls are going to be really just to give you better insight and give you an opportunity to ask any questions you have with Code Ninjas, about Code Ninjas, after I kind of give this a little bit of an intro. So Code Ninjas, kind of by the numbers, we started forming Code Ninjas in October of 2016. We officially launched as a brand in March of 2017. That's also the first month that we had our first location open, which was in Pearland, Texas, and that's also the first month we had our first franchisee join us. So now we fast forward now to November of 2019. We currently have more than 280 franchisees, more than 530 locations sold in between the U.S., Canada, and the U.K. We have close to 200 locations currently open. And that has given us just quite the opportunity, and it's very validating to grow in that short a period of time. We've designed Code Ninjas from day one to be a franchise. This wasn't built from a mom and pop shop up. This was built to be a franchise from day one. So with Code Ninjas, give you a little bit of understanding, David Graham, our CEO and founder, also owned a school that taught adults how to code for many years. And through that time, he was asked on a regular basis about the younger generation, about getting them more active and more involved. And as time went on, he had that school for about 4.5 years and operated in 18 different cities throughout the U.S. And again, that was a vocational school working with them for adults. And as time went on, it just became more and more evident that there was so much curiosity about the younger generation. So we continued to do research on the market, being an entrepreneur, being a programmer and developer himself for more than 25 years. He really started to examine the marketplace and really see the problems that parents face, being a father himself, and seeing the lack of opportunity available on the market. So as natural, his brain went to work and started coming up with another way of teaching coding and development, STEM-related activities to the younger generation, and the logic-based thinking that requires to be a great coder, a great programmer, or just in general a great thinker. So Code Ninjas was born to think about how we are different and the problems we solve we'll get into. But as we built Code Ninjas to be a franchise, we built an infrastructure of support. We have dedicated operations. We have operations individuals. We have dedicated curriculum teams, technology teams, compliance teams, preferred vendors. So a lot of these pieces, when it comes to being a brand and being a franchise, we started putting together and putting in place in October of 2016 to have our full launch in 2017, March of 2017. And as time went on, obviously having more than 280 franchisees, more than 200 locations, or about 200 locations open now, 530 locations sold, it was very validating for us to see that this is a must in the marketplace, and entrepreneurs and parents are looking for this. So as time went on, we continued to develop our internal programs and our new franchisee training to Code Ninja University and different aspects of support to be able to help no matter where your business acumen is, whether this is a first-time adventure for you or if you're a repeat serial entrepreneur, this is obviously something that you can dive right into as well, which we have more and more multi-unit, multi-brand franchisees coming aboard, and the excitement for the individual coming into their first opportunity to be an entrepreneur. It's a pretty exciting time with Code Ninjas. Being in U.S., Canada, and the UK, We do as much local sourcing as possible, especially with inside the UK, which we've had just an unbelievable response in the UK. It's been pretty incredible, just launching 5 months ago, and to have more than 10 franchisees already and 60 attending our Discovery Day in the next week, November 11th. Is pretty exciting. Discovery Days that we host as a franchise are hosted in the U.S. and they're hosted in the U.K. At our corporate office here in the U.S. And then in the U.K. we also host Discovery Days. Discovery Days are designed to give you more insight on who we are, meet our team. It is at least a 6-hour event with one-on-one time together with different team members as well, based on where you're at. Discovery Days are an exciting time for us to actually start to really connect with you face-to-face. We get a lot of phone conversations back and forth. And those Discovery Days are by invitation only. They are not just for anybody who just saw us last week online. They are by invitation only. So you're going to be around other individuals that have done the work and are like-minded. So some of the things that really that we get asked a lot is what makes Code Ninjas different? And that's going to be a little bit different for everybody. That question can't just be answered in one generic paragraph or sentence. There's a lot of aspects of Code Ninjas that we've created to make a very unique opportunity. One of them, let's just focus on one part of this that really gets a lot of attention, is going to be the curriculum side of it. When it comes to our curriculum, we have about 7 different opportunities for families to get engaged in Code Ninjas and be involved. It's not just one opportunity. It's not just a one-and-done type of approach. It is actually multiple opportunities for families to get involved. We have our Code Ninjas Junior program. Code Ninjas Junior is for 4 to 8 years old. It's a non-reading based program. Also has been used with special needs kids as well. But that Code Ninjas Junior, that's from 4 to 8 years old. Our Code Ninjas Create program, which used to be called our Belt program, or our drop-in program, we rebranded that called Code Ninjas Create. That's probably the one that has had the most attention on the market, and that's really what we spent a lot of our development and our time on in the beginning as we were launching as a brand. That Code Ninjas Create program is made up of 9 different belts. Inside each belt is a certain set of learned concepts and skills. At the end of each belt, students have to show their proficiency of those skills and those concepts by building a game. Once they build that game, it shows their proficiency, and they're able to progress to the next belt. This curriculum itself lives on our platform in the cloud. This is a 3 to 4 year long program. It's a flexible learning system. And what that basically means is there's no lectures, there's no classes. They're going to be coming in at their parents' convenience for about 2 hours per week. So about that 2 hours per week, that is about a 3-year-long program. This curriculum is, the majority of this curriculum is proprietary and exclusive to Code Ninjas. So it's not something that either we made it, we have exclusivity to it. It's been customized in certain ways. We use a little bit of this as a free platform like Scratch that people can use. But that's the white belt only. Then we move into a deeper proprietary, customized, and exclusive. For example, we have an exclusive robotics program. Our game development platform, which is also known as an LMS, a learning management system, we built that for Code Ninjas. We have proprietary textbooks that go along with this curriculum as well. This curriculum itself is designed for 7 to 14 years old. This works through 3 different technologies or 3 different languages that we work through in this. Our kids will spend about a year and a half in JavaScript, about a year in Lua, and then about a year in C#. So we spend a lot of time focusing on the syntax, but the logic-based skills behind what it takes to be a great coder, great thinker, great programmer. We don't focus so much on particularly saying master this one language, but the skill set behind that makes a great coder, makes a great programmer. The collaboration, leadership, time management, problem identification, problem-solving skills. We focus a lot on those back-end skills. So this is all, like I said, a flexible learning system. It is a self-paced but not self-taught program. Students are not going to be able to, they're not just sitting in front of a video module and they're just following instructions and cutting and pasting. That's not how this works. They are going to run into problems that they cannot solve on their own. And they raise their hand. A Code Sensei comes with them, works with them one-on-one. works them through that problem solving. They learn that and able to continue to progress through the curriculum. This curriculum is made up of many, many little wins for our Code Ninja students. This isn't just typing in thousands of lines of code and not seeing a result or seeing a small result. That's not motivating. We keep this as little wins all the way through so that they can continue to stay motivated, they can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they're able to be engaged. This is all about kids having fun and parents seeing results. We've said that from day one. We have a parent portal where parents can be engaged as well and play the games that their son or their daughter is building. And it's a game-based curriculum, so the kids are having fun in this as well. So the Code Ninjas Junior program, that's for 4 to 8 years old. The Code Ninjas Create, I just explained a little bit about the Code Ninjas Create program. We also have we also do camps. We also do workshops. We also have Parents Night Out. We do birthday parties. In the U.S. and Canada, we do after-school programming. So when it comes to the opportunity, there's many different opportunities for families to get involved in Code Ninjas. When you look at the Code Ninjas Pro curriculum, which is going to be released this year yet, that is for now 14 years and older. So we have a program starting as low as 4 years old and going all the way up until adulthood. The Code Ninjas Pro curriculum is a mobile-based program. It is not an in-house program. We don't, it's not really appropriate always to have a 40-year-old coming in and sit next to a 5-year-old learning, right? So there's going to be some logistic things that we work on with you there. But when you look at the Code Ninjas Create and the Code Ninja Junior program, the camps, the workshops, we have 14 different camps that we offer with inside of Code Ninjas. Camps are done whenever you don't have school. Camps can also be done outside of your Code Ninjas. So you're not just going to be stuck with inside your 4 walls with your Code Ninjas. The camp and workshop-based curriculum you can take outside of your Code Ninjas. So when you look at the full opportunity, when a family comes in and they're inquiring about getting involved in this, we can help them, we meet them where they're at. It's not just about come in, do this, and you're done. It's really about discovering what are their goals, where are they at, where they want to get to, what do we have available for them, whether it's going to be budget-based, whether it's going to be the time that they have available for them, their experience, and really the drive of the student. Since we're a self-paced program, you're going to have some students really pushing through and working much faster and much harder than others, which is totally okay. We have that set up for that reason, so that it can be a self-paced program, but it is not self-taught. So they are going to have to show their proficiencies in their skills. They are going to have to show that they're learning and absorbing these skills and concepts. And that's done by building a game on our custom-built LMS, which we call our game development platform. Our students access the curriculum through their dashboard. So when they come into a Code Ninjas, they're going to scan their wristband. That's going to unlock the security measure that allows them to access the curriculum. Very simple. They're going to sit down. We have our proprietary textbooks. We have they're logged into their dashboard. They can go back and play games that they've already built. They can progress into the curriculum. They can stay for an hour to 2 hours. They can either come in an hour twice a week, or they can come in 1 day a week for 2 hours. Just all flexibility. There's no appointed times. There's not. They're really going to be coming in at their. There's no scheduling. They're coming in at their family's convenience. And that is a big problem out there in the market today, where you have to come in at a certain time, a certain day, a certain skill set. We have this focus to where it is going to be much more convenient for families to be able to come into Code Ninjas and participate at their own level. And franchisees have the opportunity also to be flexible with their pricing based on their community, based on their market, whether you're going to be in the U.S., Canada, or the U.K., there's many different levels of income and opportunity out there, and we want to be able to have something available for all families that come into Code Ninjas, and we believe we do have that. So this gives you a pretty good outline of the different aspects of the curriculum side of it. We focus on experience. This is an experiential learning environment, an experiential child enrichment environment. This is not a curriculum-pushing, curriculum-focused center. This is an experiential. You could have, which we believe we do, world-class curriculum. But if your experience suffers, then you're going to lose students, and vice versa. but the experience comes first. And how we've set this up is your code senseis are typically 16 to 22 years old. They usually have some sort of robotics background, or in the UK they'll call it an ICT background, computer science background. And what they're doing is they're coaching and teaching the Code Ninjas curriculum, but their number one responsibility is to deliver that exceptional experience. The number two responsibility is to coach and teach the Code Ninjas curriculum. So the agenda is there, the job descriptions are there. It is the pathway forward to get them fully engaged in your Code Ninjas and ready is there for you. So out of all of our centers, I have yet to read or see or hear an issue or concern about finding code senseis. These are typically individuals that are looking to do this for their future. They're looking to be a coder, programmer, software engineer. So coming into our environment, they feel very comfortable and very excited to be there. When it comes to those code senseis, they're pretty easy to train in. You're going to spend a lot of time helping them with delivering that exceptional experience, and they're going to be teaching and doing the Code Ninjas curriculum, so therefore they're going to be doing it themselves, and they get excited to be able to have that opportunity to do that. So this gives you some insight. These calls, like I said, I've hosted them for the past 3 years. I think I've missed maybe 10 or 15 Fridays in the past 3 years. And the first 15, 20 minutes, this is really what it is, because I really want to get to your questions and then invite your questions in. I started Code Ninjas with David Graham and Bert Sensipon, so I can really answer probably any question you send my way that I can legally answer. I'll be more than happy to answer it for you and give you some insight, whether you're in the U.S., Canada, or the U.K., whether it's about Discovery Day, whether it's about cost of opening, whether it's more about the curriculum. I'm here to answer your questions. So it's pretty easy on how this works as well. What you need to do is hit *6. That virtually raises your hand, and that allows me to unmute you, and then you're able to ask your question. Now, I say this all the time. If I did such a fantastic job and nobody has any questions, then we kind of wind it up early. But if you have questions, I will take as long as it takes. I've got tons of caffeine in my system. I've been up since like 5 a.m., so I'm ready to roll. So if you have questions, this is going to be your time to hit *6, virtually raise your hand, ask whatever question you have on your mind about Code Ninjas, whatever market that you're in. If you have not heard from somebody on my team, make sure you email me, Marty, M-A-R-T-Y, @codeninjas.com. And we do have a few questions here, so we'll go. Wonderful. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, Marty. This is Aditi Ralhan. I'm from Florida. Hi. I had a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
So, Marty, my first question is related to experience around the curriculum. So the typical age range for a drop-in program is 7 to 14 years old, but a 10-year-old new student would probably have more experience than a 7-year-old student. So my question is, do all students always start at the white belt, or do we give them opportunities if they're more experienced to progress faster than some of their juniors?
Well, they're going to go through it faster because the cognitive ability is going to should be further along than a 7-year-old. But generally, they're going to move along really fast. So when you look at what your question is, you want them to start in the beginning and let them move through it quicker. Now, in some cases, I have talked to a few of our franchisees where they have let a student or two test out faster. But that is not just because the student says he's learning this or, he can do this or can do that. They've talked to the parents. They've let the student kind of show what they can and cannot do starting off in the beginning, and they've sped them up a little bit. But believe it or not, it doesn't happen very often. What they're going to be doing, they haven't really seen before. So they're going to want to go through it, but they're just going to go through it faster than somebody who's first just trying to figure it out. So naturally, they're going to go through the program faster. They're not going to get bored. Maybe if they're 10, 11 years old and they're coming in, they might get a little bored in the beginning, but that's what your center director is there for. That's what your code senseis are there for. So that you can, so that doesn't happen, and we're paying attention to individual experience.
Okay, understood. So is the junior program that has been developed for the 4 to 7-year-olds, is that a feeder to the 7 to 14 program? So
yes,
if I
of
have
course.
students, okay, it is.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Definitely. It's not separate. It would definitely be a feeder for the Code Ninjas Create program.
Okay, great. That's awesome. So I had another question related to the support process. So from the time we sign the agreement to actually opening up our center, how does the entire support process look like?
Well, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. So when you talk about an entire support process, it depends on where you're going to be at and when you get started. So there could be, depending where you're at with your real estate, how far along are you there? Depending on what your experience has been in the past as well, to understanding what kind of support you're going to need. But there's channels that are there for you. So you're going to know where to submit your questions. You're going to know who to call. We have also have an online collaboration tool that you can use with our team, and you can also use with your other Code Ninja franchisees. So you're not alone in this process anywhere. So when it comes to talking about like new franchisee training, for example, you're going to know when to come to that. We give you a 12-week pre-opening marketing and just overall opening roadmap to follow. So you're going to know when to do what, when to order what, when to come to training, when you start your marketing. Your digital strategies are in place for you. So you're going to have a pretty clear path forward. You're not going to have to be guessing. And if you're guessing, then you definitely need to get connected with a team member right away and say, I feel like I'm guessing here. Then they need to step it up, and they need to come to your assistance so that you don't have that feeling.
Understood. So would you normally recommend anybody who's interested in opening a center, if they have certain areas they're looking at, we should maybe have a much better understanding of the real estate and exactly where we want to open the center prior to signing the agreement?
That's a little bit different for everybody. Make sure you're working with my team. I have a team in the U.S. and a team in the U.K. My U.S. team handles the U.S. and Canada, and then my U.K. team handles, obviously, the U.K. So when it comes to your situation, you're going to want to make sure that you are connected with one of my team members. If you haven't been, just make sure you email me, Marty, M-A-R-T-Y, at codeninjas.com, and I'll get you connected. But they'll help you through that, understanding, okay, let's see, where are you at? Where does it make sense? Where is this location? Can we get a pre-approval done? Do we need a pre-approval done for this location? There's a lot of steps we can take care of before you sign so you feel comfortable moving forward.
Sounds good. Thank you, Marty. Yeah, we are definitely working with one of your team members, Mike.
Awesome.
So.
Mike Rodriguez. Awesome. Wonderful.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Those were all my questions for today, Marty. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yes. I'm curious to know, I have two questions, but I'm curious to know if there's been any of your locations that have failed to turn a profit.
Well, I can't talk about what profits are, what profits are not. I only can talk about what's displayed in our item 19. I can tell you that we have not had any locations close. So there hasn't been any closures within Code Ninjas, but it doesn't mean that the F word's not going to happen. We are very much aware that we can't keep people motivated. We can't keep them following the game plan. We can't force them into it. We can do all we can do to prevent it, and everything we can do to try to increase profits and increase opportunities. Like, for example, we only had 2 programs in the beginning of Code Ninjas. Now with 7, we continue to push out opportunities and try to give our franchisees every opportunity to create, larger and larger profits.
Okay, so I visited a location near where I'm trying to operate, and the individual told me he had 50. He opened earlier this year. He had 50 students that come in. Now, if they're paying $250 a month, I'm just not understanding how you're bringing in $1 million a year in a situation like that.
Who's doing that?
So on the website, it says that you guys You say that you bring in, you generate a revenue of $1 million a year, and you get $100,000 in profit from that. But I don't understand how that's possible if you only have like 50 to 250 students paying $250 a month.
And you're talking about one location. You're not talking about the almost 200 we have open.
No, I'm talking about one. Yeah, I'm talking about one location. So how profitable is one location? I'm just trying to understand. I'm not trying to downgrade. I'm actually very excited about this opportunity.
No, I hear you loud and clear.
My first franchise.
This is what. Yeah. No, this is what makes it great, right? This is why we do these calls, is because I want to be able to answer your questions and help you through. Now, we're talking about one location. I don't know. First of all, I don't know what you're reading where it says $1 million and $100,000 in profit. I've never read that anywhere, so I don't know.
I'm in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Sure.
And I went to the locations in the GTA that I've opened up, and I'm just trying to get an idea of.
Well, hold on. We've only had a location in the GTA open for 2 months. So
Aurora, there's Aurora, and yeah.
Yeah, they've been open for 2 months. So just so we're clear, if they've been open for 2 months and they have 50 students already, I would say they're doing pretty well. After 2 months of being open, they already have 50 students. That's a great start.
Okay, yeah, I'm really not trying to diminish it. I'm trying to understand.
Oh no, I don't think you are. I just want to make sure we have the data clear, because they haven't been open for 6 months. They've been open for less than 2 months.
Okay.
So I think when it comes to saying that they're generating $1 million, I've never seen that. I've never seen those numbers where somebody's been generating $1 million through a Code Ninjas. I've never read that anywhere.
So I'm just looking at the numbers on the website for your franchisee information.
I don't believe there's anything on our website, franchisee information, that shows that our centers generate $1 million anywhere.
Okay, can you explain to me what is expected and what?
So I can tell you that the average, the average inside of our franchise disclosure document, inside the item 19, the average Code Ninjas produces right around $20,000 a month in revenue, and costs around $11,500 a month to operate it. When it comes to cost of business.
And that includes the 3% franchise.
We don't have a 3% franchise fee. I think you may be mistaken with another.
I think I might be very mistaken. Yeah, I'm trying to get as much information as I can from you guys, but so far I've only been able to get what I can read on the internet.
Yeah, you probably should connect with one of our team. I think you're talking about a different brand.
Okay.
But I'd be more than happy to chat with you on Code Ninjas. I'd be more than happy to walk you through our item 19. We have Excel performers that you can build out your business model. I'll be more than happy to discuss with you. But I think you're talking about a different brand, because we've only been open in the GTA now for about 60 days. Our first location opened up in Windsor outside of the GTA, and that was about 3 months ago. So our first one opened in the GTA about 2 months ago.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely like to, maybe these questions are a little too detailed or specific for this call, but I would really like to talk to someone who can give me some numbers and some paperwork in a package.
Just gotta look at it. Yeah, definitely. Feel free to send me an email, because I obviously I don't think you've received any of this stuff. So send me an email. I'll be more than happy to send it your way. And the GTA is almost so don't tell me where you're going to open, but I can tell you the GTA opportunity is limited. We're almost completely sold out of Canada. So make sure you send me an email. If you haven't been connected with one of my team members, I'll be more than happy to do that. They can walk you through the item 19. We have an Excel performer where you can plug and play all the numbers, where you can really get an idea of your cost of doing business, cost of opening, all that fun stuff.
Okay.
All right, wonderful. Well, thanks for your questions. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I have a couple of questions. One which you just answered. Your average center is bringing $20,000 monthly. How long does it take a center to come out and start making $20,000 to $25,000?
Well, making is different than generating. Yeah.
Generating.
So what we could do, generate. So what we can do is actually, one thing that we do is, like on the public forum call, I want to be able to kind of help narrow down where the questions can going to be best be tackled. So one thing that we built a pretty nice Excel pro forma where you can plug and play the numbers. So you have all these different opportunities for revenue. You actually can start to plug and play the numbers, and you can actually see based off of the item 19 in our franchise disclosure document, you're going to actually start to see how this all comes about for you when it comes to breaking even, or when it comes to getting your ROI, when it comes to how many students you need, what it could cost. It allows you to really plug and play all of those numbers, and that gives you just a little bit more insight and clarity. And we do that with anybody who kind of starts this path with us. It doesn't mean you have to become a franchisee. It just means that you're in the process with us, and we want to give you the tools to allow you. We even connect you with our franchisees so that you're able to kind of get a beat and an idea of their franchising experience as well. And we also obviously, host our discovery days, which gives you more information as well. So I would say that if you really want to get deeper into understanding the numbers and you haven't seen this information, make sure you get connected with that individual who sent you that original intro email. Let's get you that Excel pro forma. Let's get you the franchise disclosure document. Let's get you connected so you can start to actually plug and play the numbers.
Okay. And also, I have a question regarding the training. You said the tutors or sensei, we hire a couple of them. They are the one who basically train. What is the training program? Where do they go to get trained themselves so they can take care, they can educate or they can help the kids who is coming in? What does the training program looks like? How far is that?
Yeah.
How long is it?
Yeah, great question. Well, they're going to be doing the curriculum based on where you have students. So what's going to happen is, let's say when you first open your doors for business, they're not doing all 9 of the belts with Code Ninjas. They're only doing up to where you have students. So as time goes on, if you lose a Code Sensei and they come in, they're only going to be working through to where you have students currently at. So if you have students on belt number 3, your Code Senseis are going to be doing curriculum up to belt number 4. They're not going to be going all the way through. They're only going to say about one step ahead of where you have students, so that you're not paying them to be doing the curriculum for all 9 belts when they're not even going to be using those tools. So they're going to be doing the Code Ninjas curriculum inside your center. Now, they're 17, 16, 17 to 22 years old. They're going to be going through this rather quickly. It doesn't take them the same amount of time as it takes a student. So, and they have experience. I mean, they're coming to you to be a part of this. So they didn't just go and drop 19 applications at every coffee shop and pizza joint and decide Code Ninjas. They're coming to Code Ninjas because this is where they want to be. So you're getting kids that are pretty excited to be there, and also with that, you're getting them they're doing the curriculum. They get excited to do that. So one of those things you have to spend a lot of time on. This is natural, is helping them understand how to deliver that exceptional experience, because everybody is a little bit different. Some of them are going to know how to do it, and they're going to be exceptional at it. Some of them you're going to have to work with a little bit. They could be wickedly skilled with teaching and coaching the curriculum, but need a little bit of sharpening on the experience side. So doing team trainings and such, these are all part-time employees. They're not full-time. And you'll be able to obviously work with them and have training agendas for them. We give you insight and ideas as well as well as your other franchisees.
And is there any fees to get them trained, or is it free for?
Yeah, they're going to be doing it through your center in their training program. So.
Okay, and how long does it take for an individual to get trained? Where he or she can go on the floor and help the kids? Well,
so it all depends on how long you've been open, right? How long they get along. But typically, they're doing on-the-job training within 7 to 14 days. They're past where you have students. They're past the first couple of days.
All right. And the reason I'm asking is in retail, you see kids comes and goes. Well, one of the other reasons, if the young kid who is in high school or they're going to the college, sometimes they decide to go next year to away to another college, right? So I'm trying to understand what does the training program looks like, how long does it take? So if one kid decided to go and quit and give me less than a week notice, how long does it take for another kid to get hired and trained? So we are not getting there's no one to take care of it. You know what I'm saying? We just want to make sure that we have.
Well, one thing you have to realize, there's a couple things. One, you don't just have one or two code senseis. You're going to have 3 to 5. And as time goes on, that number is going to increase because you're going to have more students, so therefore you're going to need more. So that layering, they're all going to have a little bit different of experience, is going to fill the gaps if one has to go and one has to leave. One maybe you have to release them or they move. You're going to have others there to be able to fill that gap while another one is being trained up. You're not going to be left. If you are left with nobody, there's a bigger picture there. There's a bigger problem there than just having a gap in those who don't know how to teach the curriculum or coach the curriculum. So you're going to have 3 to 5 to start with, and that number is going to go up as you increase your student count. So you're going to be able to fill the gap if one has to leave. You're not going to be stuck with nobody. And if you are stuck with nobody, like I said, I think there's a bigger issue there because you probably had a mass exodus for whatever reason.
Yeah. Okay. So you recommend 3 to start with?
3 to 5 in the beginning. Yep. And remember, they work part-time. So you're not having everybody there at one time, but having 3 to 5, we suggest having 3 to 5 code senseis when you start. That way, if one leaves, you got cushion there. You have that. You're not going to be just so tight with everything. You have a little bit of cushion there, because not everybody can work every day either.
True. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for your question. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hi, you have a question?
Yes, hi. This is Kim in South Texas, and I had a few questions that have already been addressed, but I hear you referencing item 19, and I'm not familiar with the content that includes item 19.
That's what's inside the FDD. So when you're connected with my team, just make sure that they get to the FDD, and you'll be able to see the item 7 and item 19 and all the item 9, all that fun stuff that's in there that gives you some more insight on fees and opening costs. And the item 19 will talk about revenues and cost of doing business, and it'll also have in there average cost per student in the Code Ninjas Create program. It also has retention, our attrition levels in there as well.
Got it. Okay. So, I was interested in, maybe the range of startup costs for South Texas. I don't know if you can share that, or if I have to, kind of look at it and plug and play with the documentation.
Well, I can tell you actually it's anywhere from about 120,000 to about 260,000 for about 1,800 square feet here in the U.S. and Canada.
Got it. Okay.
In the UK, it's much different. For anybody who's tuning into the UK, in the UK, it's different than that. It's a different model out there. So.
And it's about 1,800 or so square feet, you say?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. And then with regard to the staff, you've talked again. You've answered a few of the questions I had about the number of staff members you should start with 3 to 5, and the time frame for training, and that they're part-time. Are there any benefits that would be provided to them, or it's just their hourly salary?
That's up to you.
Okay. All right. All right. Well,
okay,
those are my questions. Again, a lot of it's been answered with the previous callers.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Hi, you have a question?
Yeah. Hi, this is Prashant here. Again, some of the questions have been answered already, but I have one more question regarding the training center hours. Are the days and hours fixed, or it's flexible based on the location?
It's flexible based on location. So based on you as a franchisee, it's flexible.
Okay, thank you. And the operational cost you mentioned about 11,000 per month. I mean, again, that's a tentative number, but what that cost includes? Is it like salary for the trainers and other costs? Do you have the high-level breakup for that?
We work with you on that because we give you that within that Excel pro forma. You can break down the cost of doing business. We work with you on that, and you can actually see it line by line.
Okay. And the last question I have is regarding, the location itself. I mean, I know right now you are in US, UK, and Canada. Are you planning to open, any other location in Asia, for example, India?
No, not right now.
Okay. Thank you. I will be getting in touch with one of your representatives.
Okay, thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, I'm calling from London. Do you have any local contact number? I mean, local, or do I have to send an email?
Well, you can. Local contact number to learn more about Code Ninjas.
Yeah, for about the franchise thing.
Yeah. Well, just shoot me an email. We can set up a call, and we can discuss more. I have a UK based team, and then I'll be out there. I leave on Friday, so I'll be out there hosting a Discovery Day on November 11th.
November 11th.
So we can. Yep.
Whereabouts?
So
whereabouts in?
It'll be in London at the Hilton Bankside.
Oh, okay, that's great. So is that information available? Yeah, I would like to attend that one. Definitely.
Yeah, so how about you send me an email, Marty, Marty, at codeninjas.com, and we'll arrange a time and we'll see if that works for everybody.
Okay, Marty. That's great.
Marty. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. That's
wonderful.
Fine.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, yeah. It's more about the dojo leaders. What were they called again?
Code senseis.
Yeah, Code Sensei. There we go.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it would be up to us, like how we structure their time, their benefits, and such. Are they really tracked through like the corporate HR system, or are they a direct employee of our office?
They're a direct employee of you.
Okay. That's pretty much it. I mean, everybody else has
right.
most of the questions.
Okay. Well, thanks for your question. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, you have a question?
Yes. My question was sort of about your franchisees and their typical setup, whether they have full-time jobs or if this is way more of a time commitment than that, or how that looks.
50-50 right now.
Really?
Half of them have half of them are off-site owner-operators. The other 50% are on-site owner-operators.
Okay. The other question is about location selection. Do you guys help with that and kind of research cannibalization? Okay.
Yes, we have internal and external matrices we work at. Just because an area may appear to be available doesn't mean it's viable. So we use internal and external matrices to make sure that that's an approved location or approved territory.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yes. I saw that the initial investment was somewhere from 118 to 380,000. Those numbers, does that take you through the first year or just to the day that you open?
That's to the day you open, but the 380, you have to minus the dojo to go off of that. So look at it from 118 to 280. That's a more accurate number. That delta is really going to come down to age of the facility, and also, this is for the U.S. and Canada, it'll come down to the age of the facility, and it'll come down to tenant improvement allowance, which your landlord contributes to your build.
Okay.
So that's where that gap is going to be between 118 and 280 will come to what your landlord contributes to the actual build of the space, and if there's any unique pieces to the space that require more work, whether it's a sprinkler system or just the age of the space for meeting ADA requirements.
Okay. So up until the first month, obviously there's pre-sales prior to the first month, so you should have students your first month. or do you not expect students to be?
No, I would say you should expect students to be signing up before you open your doors for business. We give you a full roadmap to follow so that you can enroll students before you even open your doors for business.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Yes. Like as I said, most of the questions are already answered by the time I got my turn. What is the dojo to go in the franchise info? I'm not sure about $0 to $100,000 on that.
That's a mobile gaming trailer. It is not required. That is optional.
Okay, that is purely for like a birthday party or type stuff.
Yep.
Where you can rent it them or something. Okay.
Yep. Just had one at my neighbor's house. They do 22 birthday parties every 14 days.
Wow. Okay.
So we have it as an option inside of our FTD if a franchisee wants to take advantage of it.
And then how many of them so far, like out of all the locations already started the business?
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
They
Okay,
more
but it's been a hit.
4%. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is outside of Code Ninja because I live in Minnesota, and I live in northern Minnesota, so they came from the cities. But our centers that do them right now, they're not using it as a gaming trailer; they're using it as an education system. So right now, I don't believe we have any franchisees using it as a birthday party gaming system right now.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, hi. My name is Raj, and I had a couple of questions here. Number one is, when the kids get enrolled and in the program, and the program you said is about 4 years, right? I'm assuming nobody's like tied into any kind of contract, right? Like, or is it like they can discontinue any month? It's like a month-to-month thing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like it's typically, let's say 2 hours a week would be about 3 years. Some of our centers do agreements for 6 months, 12 months. Some do agreements for 3 months. Some do month to month. We give you that flexibility as a franchisee.
So that will be like up to us what we want to do.
Correct.
Okay. And because usually like the kids that I've seen going to Topic and things like those type of programs, usually. I don't know whether there are any agreements that we are tied into. So that's one thing I wanted to ask. So that's going to be up to us if we want to keep it a 3 months, 6 months, or a year agreement.
Correct.
Okay. Do you recommend any? Like, do you have any numbers on what other centers are doing?
A lot of centers do 6 month agreements.
6 months agreement. Okay. And so I mean, if somebody wants, do you have any numbers on like cancellations, like kids that enroll and then and like on an average how many cancel out or drop out?
Our centers average 8.6% month over month attrition. That means we keep a large majority of our students month over month. So we average an 8.6 month over month attrition. So we're keeping a very high number of our students. Now some of our centers are lower than that. Some of our centers are higher than that. That's just the average, and that's actually reflected inside the franchise disclosure document as well.
Okay. I think my second question is about the territories, right? Like we received a map showing all the circles, right, marked by circles and stuff. My question was, what if there was an area on the map that is not is not marked by a circle, right? Like it's just empty, but we think that might be a good area. So how, is there our option to kind of explore that area, or is that we limited to the areas marked by the circles?
No, I'm not sure what map you're looking at. If you see the map that has circles on it, I don't know what that means.
We got a territory map. We were speaking to one of the reps, right? And they sent us for our area. They sent us a map showing us, okay, this area, this territory is taken, this one is available, and it was all marked by like a circle, radius circle.
Yeah,
right?
just whatever they're telling you is available, then that's what's available. If you're seeing something outside of that, just make sure you work with them so they can map it out and do the matrix internally and externally to make sure that it fits.
Okay. I think that's all my questions.
Okay. Oh, okay, wonderful. Thanks for the questions.
Thank you.
Hi, you have a question? You may have me on mute. Do you have a question? Hi, you have a question?
Yeah, hi. This is Scott. I have a few questions, actually. Just to quickly piggyback off the territory one, I haven't seen a map, but is there some kind of a radius involved with territories?
Yeah, there's radius and guidelines. So when it comes to the guidelines, we don't do major overlapping of territory borders. Sometimes they'll meet or they'll have a smaller overlap, but we don't do major overlapping of territory borders. So that's a guideline that we have internally. When it comes to circles, it all depends on the territory size. It all depends on the demographics. So we use, again, internal, external matrices to determine the size of that circle. It's not a negotiable territory size. It comes down to the demographics. So if we have an area that doesn't meet the, let's say, income, but the student count is tremendously high, we might get a little bit larger of a territory because the max is 3 miles, but it goes from anywhere from usually 1 mile to 3 miles, and it really just depends on what is the income, what is the density, and we look for a balance in there. Then we also compare that and use those numbers and compare it to other Code Ninjas that are open to say, okay, how have they done with not quite hitting the income standards, but the student count is triple? Like, how have they performed? And then we also look at the franchisee and say, okay, what are we looking at in your area? What is your rent cost? What is your cost of doing business? So it's a multi-layered approach of really looking at all the data and working with the franchisee to say, okay, what does this look like for everyone? We don't just want it to be, yep, that's approved, go ahead, sign your lease and go. We want to look at the big picture of it and see how it impacts the brand as a whole, you as a franchisee, how are other centers performing in areas like that to get a little bit clearer picture.
Great. So you're saying the max, I know that it's multi-layered, but were you saying the max was 3 miles?
The max is 3 miles, but again, it's not negotiable. So it's not like if somebody says, oh, he's 2.25, and you're like, what about 2.45, right? We really don't do the negotiating. Everything has to go through an approval process beforehand. So typically, when you're presented with a radius, it's gone through an approval process already.
Okay, great. And then second question is, what they're learning in the curriculum, is it actual code, or is it more of like these snap-type frameworks?
No, they're actually doing syntax. I mean, for example, in the second belt, they type in around 1,000 lines of code, and they're doing the syntax. It's not cut and pasting and clicking and dragging.
Okay. And just a couple of related questions then. The output, I know that you said that the curriculum itself was game-based, but the output, is the output games, or is there some data output and AI stuff? I mean, I know not all that would be necessarily super thrilling to a 10-year-old, but I'm just curious as to what the outputs are.
That's a great question. So when it comes to, for an example, I was talking to an individual who was very deep into like data analytics and actually had a curriculum that he was going to be doing himself with some of the neighborhood teenagers on data analytics. Sounds wicked exciting, right, for some people. That's camp stuff. That's camp-focused teaching. So when it comes to like AI, for example, it's not necessarily going to be intertwined, at least not right now, intertwined in actually our ongoing curriculum. But doing that in a camp-based setting where they come to us and they're spending 5-6 hours a day, 5 days a week, diving into a curriculum like AI, we're all about that. But we have to find something that is scalable, that's duplicatable through our system, not just one-off that one owner can do, like a data analytics, which was great. I mean, I think you get a small percentage of people that would love to do that. The problem is it's not duplicatable to coach it and teach it. So when we look at AI, we have to get something in that we can actually break down to be taught and coached at a quality level versus it just being kind of thrown out to any franchisee who has a skill set. That may have to happen in the future, and we understand that may have to happen, but for right now, we're really focusing on the duplicatable aspect of it all. And if we get an opportunity where something comes through and we have a large number of franchisees that can do it, we don't want to necessarily hold them back either. So it's a little bit of a tightrope we have to walk, But like I said, our system has advanced because of our franchisees. In the beginning, we had 2 opportunities for families to get involved. Now we have 7. That is 100% because of our franchisees. Our curriculum development, we just released version 3, 100% comes from our franchisee feedback and our parent feedback, our student feedback, and that communication loop has advanced our curriculum so beyond what we could have done alone.
Okay, great. And so are any of these games that the students have created, are they any of them able to be quote unquote played or looked at from someone here on the phone?
So when it comes, the parents can play and do them, but we don't unveil our curriculum to prospective franchisees. We do dive into it further at Discovery Day. We actually are going to be meeting with and hearing from 2 of the lead curriculum developers. So you're actually going to be working with them, talking with them, and actually seeing more at Discovery Day. We don't do online modules. We don't have that available yet. I don't want to say it's not coming because some of the stuff that our kids are doing is pretty incredible. We want to show it off, but we don't feel like right now is the time to be kind of showing some of that to just the general public.
When would a Discovery Day be available in the New York, New Jersey area?
We only do them in the U.S. For U.S. and Canada, we only do them at our corporate office in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And those are done, and they're done every month.
Okay. All right. I think that's all the questions I have for now. Can we visit a site? Is it possible to visit a site, letting them know that we're potentially interested, or is that kind of not really a great idea?
Well, I don't think I think it really first was a process, right? So coming to Discovery Day is that first step. Coming to Discovery Day, then connecting you with franchisees is definitely something we like to do.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. You're the last one. Last question.
Hey, I forgot to mention this before. When you have more than one partner for a franchise, how usually the communication flows between the corporate office and the franchise?
Well, if you have a partnership, you have a designated principal, and that's who the franchise turns to. But it doesn't mean that there's any difference with who can have access to what. It's just that we need a dedicated person that we contact. Otherwise, you just have, you could have a partnership of 5 people and you're calling everybody and it gets all confusing. We like to have that one go-to, but it doesn't change the access for others.
Okay. But is it typical with the franchisee or in this case where you have more than one person you have to deal with?
Yeah, a lot of franchises have partnerships. We have no problem with partnerships. We think they're great.
Okay.
Some of our most successful franchisees are partnerships. So.
Oh, that's great to know. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, yes. Just a quick question on Discovery Day. In Canada, where would that take place?
We for U.S. and Canada, we do all of our Discovery Days at our corporate office in Houston, Texas.
So we have to come to Texas?
For Discovery Days, we only host them at our corporate office in Houston, correct, for the U.S. and Canada.
Okay. And is there a cost associated with that, or is that we just come there?
No. Yeah, you just pay, as long as you pay for your own travel and you pay for your hotel and all that to attend Discovery Day. We don't charge you to attend our Discovery Day, but you do have to be invited. So there's a couple of items that have to be met before being invited.
Okay. And prior to Discovery Day, are we able to see the available locations?
Oh, we don't want you coming to Discovery Day. So that's a really good point. So when you are registered to come to Discovery Day, we lock in your market for you. So let's say we want to take that anxiety away of you thinking your market's going to be sold before you make a decision. So when you register for Discovery Day, if your market is viable and available, we actually put it on lockdown at no charge to you so that you can remove that anxiety out of your brain of thinking it's going to be sold and slow the process down. So when you come to Discovery Day, we can set up a timeline on how we look to move forward, but you definitely have your market locked into you before Discovery Day. So that's actually a requirement to come to Discovery Day, that your market is locked in.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Well, Well, I want to thank everybody for attending today's Code Ninjas conference call. If you have not heard from somebody on my team, please email me, Marty, M-A-R-T-Y, @codeninjas.com. I will make sure I get you connected. I'll make sure I reach out to you as well as soon as I can possibly do that. So, again, thank you for taking your time. I really appreciate it. An hour worth of a great call, 45 minutes of great questions. I really do appreciate all the questions. Always appreciate the questions. Again, feel free to reach out anytime. Marty, M-A-R-T-Y, @codeninjas.com. Look forward to working with you.